It's my pleasure to introduce our special guest tonight, Sean Starwars. Tonight's lecture. It's all about subtlety.
I met a non-dairy creamer, explicitly laid out like a fruitcake, with a wet spot bigger than a Great Lake. Took me to the new church and baptized me with salt. She told me, liquor, I am a new man. Hot freaks! This one is on the house. This one is better than ever.
Hey, so I'm Sean Starwars and I'm from Laurel, Mississippi, and we're here in Missoula, Montana, getting ready to work on a woodcut. We're going to edition this print over the course of this week, but we wanted to start out with talking about how this project got started. And yesterday, when I was flying from New Orleans into Los Angeles, I thought I saw a couple people that were kind of famous, but I didn't know who they were. And I saw this one woman I thought was Andy McDowell, if that's even her name, and I'm kind of checking her out and thinking, yeah, that's got to be her, And in the meantime, there's this dude a couple seats up in front of me who's got these big camera bags and stuff, and they're trying to get him to move back so he could stow his bags away. And the first person didn't want to move, and then the next person was next to me, and she volunteered to switch out. And so he's moving all these bags around and everything, and he hands me his cup of coffee. He's like, hey, can you help me out and hold this for a second? So I'm holding his coffee, and then I give it back to him, and we just started talking, and I don't even know how it came up, but we discovered we knew a few people from Instagram together, and we started talking about what we each other did, and next thing you know, we're here working on this video together. He's filming me working on this woodcut, so it's kind of fun. So that's Owen Osborne, and he's just been a great guy. It's crazy how generous some people can be, because it went from looking at a couple pictures on my phone to yeah, I think we could do this little video thing if you're interested in any media. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm interested in a little bit of media. So we're going to do this. I've been working on this story about a guy that buys a chimpanzee by trading it for some Star Wars toys, and it's kind of sick, and it destroys a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't know how the story ends yet because I haven't finished it, but so I think I'm going to get a bunch of woodcuts out of this story over the coming months. And so what I'm going to do right now is draw this chimp, and he's playing with an R2-D2, and then we'll kind of just flesh this out over the coming minutes, and we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to start drawing and not think about anything for a little while. And my drawings are always pretty sketchy to begin with, and then I kind of flesh them out in the woodcut process. So, don't get too discouraged by the initial drawing. It has a lot more potential.
And he asked me to join him in the Red Wing. Took me to Pyland, said I'm a thigh man. I will be eternally hateful. Hot freaks! Hot freaks! Freaks. This one is on the house, and this one is better than ever. This one is on the house. This one is better than ever. This one is on the house.
One of my tricks is always, if I'm drawing something to look like it's an interior, because my skills are somewhat limited, I kind of just throw a little corner, kind of do one of these things. So you're looking at an interior, might draw a door, some windows, maybe an electrical outlet. All my floors end up looking kind of the same, but I'm trying to lower this floor a little bit so I have more wall space. And might throw a plant in there or something, but I also thought that I'm running out of space already I was going to draw some shelves with some Mountain Dew bottles and some little Star Wars toys sitting on the shelf, but I kind of have drawn this a little bigger. So I got to figure that out. Maybe Star Wars themed artwork hanging on the wall is always fun.
And shoot me down and bring me down, but I won't be around as you run for the places you love. I'll remember the faces that cry and they're pulling me back, so I have to die and watch me jump start at the first light of the day. This sensation just blows me away. Don't look now, my face. Straight from ground zero, X marks the spot. I can't pretend to be something I'm not. Some superhero left in white hot. And shoot me down.
For me, when I was trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do, I had heard about something called a woodcut. My favorite skateboarders did their own artwork, you know, on the boards, Neil Blender and Chris Miller and Mark Gonzalez and some of those guys. But one of them in particular, Chris Miller, all of his graphics were lino cuts, and I didn't know what that was, and there was no internet, and I guess there was no other way to find out things back then, so I just kind of stayed ignorant for a long time. And I found a intro to relief class, and it said learn how to make lino cuts, and I was like, that's that thing, you know, that I've always wanted to know about, but didn't care enough to find out. So it's such a low demand thing, you know, compared to some of the other things that you can learn in printmaking. You know, it's so immediate. You make your mark, see what you have. It's backwards, but you know, and it's just so much fun. And from the very first one, I'll never forget. Like when I close my eyes, I can remember exactly what it looks like, and I can remember that enthusiasm I had. It's just like, wow, something that works. You know, because my drawing skills were never the strongest, and you know, just there's just so many things that can take you away from wanting to do something. You know. And if you don't get that kind of immediate success, you might move on to something else, you know. So like, you know, watercolor and painting and all those other things, they just weren't really clicking for me. But as soon as I cut into that linoleum, it gave me that nice solid black, that nice thick, high energy line, and I just loved it. You know, it was like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. And I told myself then, I was like, I'm never going to do anything else, and I pretty much lived up to that as much as possible, you know. And there's a lot of fun stuff in printmaking, and of course there's a lot of other fun art out there in the world. But I love this so much, I can't really get away from it. You know, I can't take more than 2 or 3 steps away from it, come right back and go on to the next one. So, you know, you guys are in this relief class, and so you already know that either you love it or you hate it, but you just got to get through it and move on to that thing that you love, you know. But, you know, what I was saying to the other class and what I say wherever I go is, you know, really, whatever it is that you like, the most important thing for you while you're in school is to just be in this room, you know, or be downstairs in your painting studio, or be, you know, up top of your wheel making your bowls and ceramics, or whatever it is. But when you find that thing that you really connect with, you just need to dive all the way in and just get all the way to the bottom of it, you know, and stay there, you know, just there's so many reasons why you might want to skip a class here or there. You know, you got some fun things going on, and you stayed out too late. I mean, you shouldn't be too tired to come to class at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but, you know. But still, you know, there's always distractions, and you can always justify them easily enough. But really, all of the growing that you're going to do as an artist is going to happen in here, you know, or it's going to happen in this building, or it's going to happen in front of whatever it is you're working on. And so the more time you spend with that, the quicker you'll progress. And something I forgot to say to the other class, but I pretty much live by, is the idea that, you know, you have a lot of bad work in you, you know, and you got to kind of get some of that stuff out. It doesn't matter how good you are, you're not going to fire on all cylinders all the time, you know, so you're going to have a couple of duds along the way. And it's better to go ahead and work through a lot of these problem images, a lot of these things that just are not going to be as strong now, you know, so like instead of doing 10 things this semester, do 20, you know, or instead of doing 5, try to see if you can't do 8 or 9,